what gave me the inspiration to build my very first track was my son. He's the one who actually found a box of my slot cars and said, "Dad, what are these?" Game on. "Son, we're going to build a slot car track." So you get to understand what really a slot car track is about. It wasn't until about midpoint till he actually realized what the heck they did. And then we started to do some test runs on the track to make sure the electrics worked. He was hooked. And there's nothing like the feel of racing a slot car on a wood-routed track. We get to design and build stuff that nobody else has. And it's usually a one-off creation. So when people hear the word Jarel-Built, they want to see what we're building next. It's usually quite unusual. I have a carpenter right down the street, and I go and I pillage his scraps. Stuff that he would throw out, we keep. It allows us to make skateboards, surfboard fins, cabinets. We make just about anything and everything. It really drives into my son. If you can imagine it, we can build it. My background is a little deep in the racing scene. I hold a land speed record at Muroc Dry Lake. I hold a vintage and class road racing at Willow Springs, motorcycle racing there. I built and restored a front engine rail dragster. Road raced a 1957 Turner sports race car and collect and restore motorcycles and cars and hot rods. And that all ties in to building the slot car tracks. I got my start in woodworking from my father. He came over to the States just a shirt on his back. Had enough skills where he developed his own company, succeeded very well. And I was always around his cabinetry shop, and he would give me chunks of wood and I would make stuff. And we weren't really well off growing up, and my parents made us a lot of toys for Christmas and birthdays. We make a lot of our own toys. And really a lot of the stuff that you see around here is recycled. A lot of the styrofoam packing I use on the slot car tracks. Anything I shave off, I reuse in the next track. Early memories of slot car racing has to be from my older brother. Christmas time rolls around, you would get a snap together track from Santa under the tree. You'd set it up Christmas morning and race them around the track. And back in the mid-50s, late 50s, English company started building them. And then it took off in the mid-60s in the States here. Every town had a really slick slot car track, and you would go rent time on that track and race. Those tracks were really designed for a lot of the fast, go fast style cars. Then it shut down commercially, but everybody kept their cars and started making tracks in their basement, or would try to have a track someplace where they can go play with them. The cars I like to play with and tracks I like to build, it's not slot car racing, it's scale racing. So you get really nice detailed cars that actually resemble real cars. You get to race the car that you wish you had. So as I build these tracks, I'm getting all these requests of, "I think I've got my old cars, can I come race on your track?" It's really fun. You get to see these grown adults, and they revert to being 12 in like 10 minutes. I mean, I get to build an avenue for that. I feel like Santa Claus. It's great. It's really a good, rewarding feeling doing what I do. The way I design my tracks, each one's different. That's the beauty behind making them by hand. I built my first track. It was a good sized track. I had to move, and I couldn't take it with me. So I dropped it off at a friend's shop. He's an automotive mechanic who works on race cars as well as restores cars. He got crowds coming over to his place. Once I set up at my new location, I built my second track. That went to another friend of mine who wanted it, and now I find myself building custom tracks for people. The steps it takes to design and build one of these tracks: first take a scenery scene that I've captured and want to recreate. Then I go to paper and I draw it out. I want it to fit a certain table size so it's portable or deliverable to your home. It'll take up a car space. But after that, I start laying out how many lanes, the configuration of the track, where the mountains are going to be, where the scenery is going to be. I start with a table. I get some high density particle board. I start determining the radius of the turns. I start routing, painting, laying the electricals on the track. A lot of the times it takes on its own form. I can start it, I'll have an idea, and as I'm carving it with a blade, as I start laying the actual material down, the plaster, the shaping plaster, the grass, it starts taking its own shape. It's about building slot car tracks is the scenery, so you really get to get creative. Now let's start thinking about all the kind of tracks people race on. There's rally racing. How about sprinkling some dirt actually on the track and watching the tires take the dirt off? It takes me about 3 to 4 months to complete a finished track while designing the next track in between. I'm already thinking of the next one, and it's going to be a mountain circuit. The mountain circuit's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to have some great elevation changes, some really rough scenic sidescape, as well as water features. The more I built these tracks and the exposure they were getting, I started getting really fun phone calls and emails. I have friends now in Switzerland, Italy, South America, Canada, all over the East Coast, and they are all slot car enthusiasts. There's a lot of people out there who collect and race cars. There's a lot of people who collect and race motorcycles. There's some people who don't have any interest in either one of those. But you put a slot car in front of them with a controller, and they're just as fast as any pro racer. It's a really fun, even playing ground for anybody at any age. So getting people together to play on one of these tracks, it's phenomenal. It allows everybody an equal ground to compete. When you walk up to my track and put a car on it and start racing it, I want you to forget that it's a slot car track, to be able to feel like you're inside the cockpit of that car driving through that countryside. My name is Mark Jarel. I build slot car tracks.